Gohan's adapting to his newly awakened super form, and thanks to his work study under Endeavor, he's actually grown a lot. How's that going to help him in the next arc though, especially as we go into the Paranormal Liberation War? We'll cover all that and more in the 6th part of What If Gohan Was in My Hero Academia. Everyone in Class 1A gets to show off what they learned during their work studies. Of course, everyone's picked up on a bunch of new techniques, and Gohan could finally show off what he's learned. It's nothing really new, he just has much better control over his super form. Now, given his super form does use more energy, the issue with the calorie drain is back, but Gohan's working on his stamina there, and he also carries a bunch of protein bars around with him for quick energy boost. The good thing is that's not really a problem in his base anymore. The bigger issue right now is Gohan's control of this form. Since his power is directly tied to his emotions, and particularly the super form is tied to his rage and such, Gohan not only needs to focus on the energy he's expending, but the emotions he's feeling. He's kinda got that down too. It's easier to utilize this super form, and he doesn't need to rely on any dire emotions. Instead, he could pretty much use it willingly whenever he wants. Of course, it is easier when he's feeling something like rage, but the whole point of his training was better control, and he got that. He's also been trying to work on better movement, and he hasn't been able to unlock flight yet. Honestly, he's not even sure if that's a pipe dream or not, but he's a lot better with controlling how he moves in battle. Particularly, he's inspired by All Might. The way he used to leap through the air using his great strength, that's what Gohan's been trying to do. Channeling energy to his legs and creating blast of energy beneath his feet, he's able to leap really high and even propel himself while he's in the air. So he could easily make mid-air maneuvers and keep up momentum. Doing this is pretty tough to balance and it takes up a lot of energy, but he also has another inspiration for this. Bakugo. During their work studies, Gohan kept a close eye on him, and since the way Gohan moves is similar to the way Bakugo moves, he took notes watching Bakugo use his explosions for maneuvers. But things are about to gear up really quickly. The war breaks out. And of course, Gohan is going to be involved. Everybody is. Gohan's pretty well suited for this. He's not only good for combat, but also helping out civilians and wounded heroes. And this experience is truly something else. Once more, he feels close to death, as in watching people around him nearly losing their lives or losing their lives. This is what it's like to be a hero after all, but to think he'd be experiencing this while he's still in school, it's surreal. Naturally, Goku's going to be deployed here too. He is the #1 hero after all. He's going to have a pretty big role. He's a heavy hitter and he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's engaging a lot of the high-tier Liberation commanders and even some of the near high-end Nomu. Goku's very active. He can't stay in one place, and he also realizes he can't be there to protect Gohan. The two of them met before the battle, and Gohan knows that he's on his own, and the same goes for Goku. Gohan really wants to help out his father, but Goku says to focus on his objective at hand. He'll be fine. The two feel the same way. They want to support each other, but they can't focus just on that. They have bigger objectives. For Goku, it's a lot easier to think like this because he's been a hero for longer and he is self-sufficient. But for Gohan, it's different. He saw Goku fight All For One before, and he feels like he almost lost him in that battle. That weighs on him pretty heavily. And that's Goku, the strongest hero. His father, the person that he looks up to. Imagine all the other people around him that aren't even close to his level. Gohan's a lot more nervous than he lets on, and this might work a little bit against him, since that does dampen his power. But he really needs to lock in here. Shigaraki joins the battle too, and this of course changes the tide of everything. Right now, Gohan's on evacuation duty. Particularly he's with Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto. But they can all feel that something's changed when Shigaraki awakens. Unlike some other heroes, luckily Goku hasn't been injured, at least not critically just yet. He's a little scuffed up, but overall he's pretty okay. Using his super form, he was able to do really well here. And he actually did help out Mirko a bit, so she's not as injured, thankfully. The Nomu are still pretty tough to fight. Goku's the first one to jump in and fight Shigaraki. He intercepts. The two of them clash briefly, and Goku immediately realizes that this isn't a straight fight. This isn't what he's used to. It reminds him of his battle with All For One. This is something completely different. He needs to be careful. Goku decides he's going to buy time. He's not looking to defeat Shigaraki right now. He's not sure if he can. But this way he can at least help others. He's able to fight from a distance, and Shigaraki still doesn't have a full read on Goku, the new #1 hero. He should learn more about him. Maybe even take his quirk for himself. I mean, it's definitely an impressive quirk. Goku could see the wide array of quirks that this villain has, and he has to disengage at some point before being worn down. Endeavor joins in with him too. And even with their combined might, still, this is an incredibly tough battle. Gohan sticks with Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki, acting as mobile support. Deku has the idea of using himself as bait. Endeavor and Shoto have to go deal with Dabi. Bakugo of course follows Deku, but Gohan doesn't want to let them go alone. He joins, and the three of them rush over. Gohan starts to utilize his super form more. And luckily, even though he is feeling nervous, all the tension he's feeling allows him to maintain this power a lot easier. He overcomes the nerves. He's confident. He knows they've got this. The fight between Deku and Shigaraki begins, and Gohan can see that Deku is still being very self-destructive. And that is the nature of a true hero, but he doesn't want Deku to die here. He'll have to help out in any way possible. Once more, he's acting as backup here. Goku's been able to help out others, and he rejoins the fight against Shigaraki. This is the first major encounter Goku's been involved in ever since he fought All For One, and he knows a lot of eyes are on him. Plus, he knows the burden of being the #1 hero. The good thing for Goku is, he never had a need to prove himself to anyone, just prove himself to himself. This is an all-out battle. This is something Goku rarely gets to encounter. He'll push his limits, he'll win here. He assists the others, and he begins showcasing a lot more power than normal. And something weird happens. Goku's golden hair starts flowing differently. Now, typically when a lot of energy surges through Goku's body, his hair spikes up and becomes electrified, hence why it turns golden. But now it starts flowing a little bit differently. It's not rigid, it's a lot calmer, but energy is still flowing through. It takes on a much lighter tone. For now, it just looks like his normal black hair. It's clearly the sign of an awakening, but also very clearly incomplete. No one knows what this is besides Goku, and he's glad he was able to pull it off. Shigaraki attacks, and Goku moves completely on instinct. He dashes through the air. It looks almost like he's flying. Whenever an attack reaches him, he parries it with ease, either with his hands or with his power pole, which is really helpful in this fight when Shigaraki can decay things that he touches. The way Goku moves about is so graceful, and on top of that, his attacks are powerful, and they connect perfectly. It really throws Shigaraki off guard. However, Goku is pushing past his limits. Shigaraki tries once again to take this quirk. It's a lot easier said than done, especially when Goku's dodging all of his attacks. But amidst the fight, as Goku gets some distance, he then feels a sharp pain throughout his body. His aura, the one that has now become a lot calmer, then explodes out, completely uncontrolled. Gohan recognized this from far away. It's the exact same type of thing he experienced. When his power had flare-ups, his energy would leave his body wildly, with no control. And something similar is happening to Goku here, but not for the same reasons as Gohan. His body can't handle it right now. There's a huge explosion of energy. It knocks everybody away. Had anyone been close to Goku at this moment, they could have been injured or even killed. Luckily, it doesn't affect any of his allies. But it does leave Goku on the ground, writhing in pain. Not injured by an external attack, but rendered immobile from his own energy. Shigaraki smirks. Well, looks like that quirk won't really be too useful for him. Goku's reign as #1 isn't nearly as great as All Might's. It's going to be very short-lived. He looks over to Gohan too, wondering how he'll react. It looks like Gohan's frozen with fear, but it's something else. And Shigaraki decides to taunt him. A tendril launches out of his arm, but then there's another huge surge of energy on the battlefield. Gohan's aura explodes. They could feel an overwhelming intensity. Gohan's allies are all taken aback too. It's a very brief change in power though. They notice some subtle changes. His aura grows a lot more intense, with noticeable sparks of electricity, and his eyes look sharpened. But all this accomplished was giving Gohan a nice speed boost, getting to Goku in time, guarding against the attack from Shigaraki, as Gohan gets stabbed by it. It's not a critical injury, but he snaps Shigaraki's tendril. Goku's now realizing that the super form Gohan used might not be his limit. A barrage of tendrils then fly towards Gohan, but with very little remaining energy, Goku then acts instinctively, quickly moving himself and Gohan from the battlefield, automatically dodging and protecting both of them. He thanks Gohan for the save, but he can't have Gohan stealing all the glory again like he did with All For One. Goku still needs to be able to save his own son. Gohan weakly smiles. He's not badly injured from Shigaraki, but all of his energy just left his body now. The father-son duo finds a spot nearby, and the two collapse from exhaustion, both going completely unconscious. The way the war winds down is mostly the same as canon, and thankfully Gohan's wound isn't too bad either. Deku ends up leaving the school not too long after too. While Bakugo figured out the relation between All Might and Deku, I don't know if Gohan would necessarily pick up on it. Like, it's very obvious the two of them are close, but I don't think he'd fully figure out what the secret of One For All is, nor do I think Deku would tell him right away. Although that's kind of irrelevant now because he eventually tells his entire class when he leaves. The Dark Hero arc goes pretty much the exact same as normal, with the only difference being that Gohan's there to help retrieve Deku. He can't believe it. Deku's completely changed. This isn't the fellow hero he's grown to know. Of course, he has to get involved in order to help stop Deku. And with his power and speed, he's one of the few that's able to catch up to him. Although, I guess another change is that Mineta's not involved, but this also doesn't change the outcome of this arc. Overall, since this one is mostly just focused on Deku alone, Gohan's involvement isn't going to affect too much because the end result is the same. They're able to retrieve Deku and get him back. But Gohan at least provides pretty big help in retrieving him. Then we have the Star and Stripe arc, and that's also one we can kind of skip. And, you know, this has been the first time I'm doing a full My Hero Academia What If, and I'm pretty surprised at how much I can kind of just skip, because there are some arcs that are just focused on one character or a smaller group of characters. And again, I'm not shoehorning Gohan into everywhere. It's not like he's going to show up with the Star and Stripe fight. Like, that's just unrealistic. But that's just the way the story goes, and that's kind of how it translates to a What If like this. So, same goes for the very short UA Trader arc, so this means we could launch right into the final war arc. Plans are set into motion for how this attack is going to be staged. The villains, of course, have their own plans, but the heroes think they have a pretty good one. Deku and Aoyama are able to bait All For One out. All For One warps all of his villains here, but Then all the heroes are warped here. Gohan is part of the team that's going to be facing Shigaraki head-on. Everybody gets split up. Now, Deku was supposed to be part of this team, but he still gets split up just like normal. But at least this is a good thing, because compared to canon, this means they're going to have one extra person there who's actually a really big help. We have the normal group there. Sun Eater, Ed Shah, Mirko, Nejire, Dynamite, Best Jeanist, and now the Great Saiyaman. As for Goku, he's going to be directly involved in facing All For One, so he's with Endeavor's group. Now, ever since the last battle, he completely secluded himself. He's only been training. That power that he tapped into, he got a taste of it, and he needs to access it again. If he's able to tap into that here and utilize it to its fullest, All For One will not be a problem. Endeavor asked Goku if he thinks he could pull it off. He wasn't sure what Goku was trying to do last time, but Goku explains. He's been working on this for a while. He's wanted to move his body instinctively. It's something that, as a martial artist, is such a huge deal. But also with his quirk, it's even better. Because his power is tied directly to his soul, as well as what he's feeling in the present moment, this type of technique works perfectly with his quirk. If he calms himself completely, clears his mind and clears his heart, he can move completely on instinct. But on top of that, when he does this, it seems like he gets a huge burst of power. His soul flares up to unimaginable levels, far stronger than even Super Goku. The issue was last time, when Goku tried to do this, he wasn't used to the power. His soul generated so much energy that it just expelled out of him. But this is his quirk awakening. He thinks he's finally tapped into it, and it's him going plus ultra. This is what Goku calls plus ultra instinct. Meanwhile, the fight with Shigaraki begins. As Goku explains his power to Endeavor, Bakugo similarly asks Gohan about his power. He's been holding that back this entire time. Why hasn't he showed something like that before? Was Gohan trying to surprise everyone and act cool? And Gohan promises he wasn't trying to do that. He didn't know he had that locked away. But after that battle, Goku and Gohan discussed it. It might have been the sign of his quirk awakening, something that's now inaccessible. In that moment, Gohan's energy increased significantly. His emotions were so intense that even the ones that stopped him before were completely overcome. Those mental blocks were shattered, and his unfiltered rage shone through. Genis is terrified to hear this. It sounds like a beastly power, something he wouldn't really expect from a hero, and also one that's completely unlike his father's calmer power. Beastly, huh? Gohan likes that, but he also recognizes that he can't be in a constant state of rage. That's why he needs to learn how to control it, and he thinks he could tap into it here. Shigaraki's just as interested too, and this is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next in the final part? Leave all your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.